What's going on, everybody? I hope everything's going okay out there. Welcome back to Real Day Nation. Here at Real Day, we love to have field days, and on Real Week, we love to let the real speak. And today's topic is on influencers versus the influence.
I got a question, man.
What's up?
And my question is, what is an influencer? And that's for anybody that's listening today. You can let me know what you believe an influencer is in the comment section. What is an influencer? Is it someone who has a lot of followers, or is it someone who move cultures?
I think influencer the name, of course, is older than the internet, but I think the name influencer we begin to use for people who digitally motivate you or motivate you from an online source to do a certain thing or to buy a certain product or to listen to a certain element of life that's being expressed. That's kind of how I look at influencers. Anything that anyone is doing that motivates you to take a particular action or call to action or what have you. That's how I look at, or that's how I perceive an influencer to be, or maybe I'm saying that because that's what I believe an influencer should be.
So what makes an influencer? Like, is it the amount of followers you believe, or it's just somebody who may say something and got a person to listen?
I think certain platforms have a standard for their definition of influencer. I think that they use followers and how many you have or whatever to grade you as an influencer, but I think society takes that grading methodology as a rites of passage to be an influencer. So they're using the formula to say this influencer has 100,000 or this influencer has 1 million. Well, society-wise, what we do is we kind of have our own internal rules where we'll say, okay, I don't consider this person an influencer unless they have 50,000 followers or 1 million followers or what have you. And I think that's kind of an issue because in something like an influencer, it's a delicate balance, I believe. I think we can't tell someone that they're not an influencer if they believe they are an influencer. You know, I think we can maybe help guide them. I mean, we're grown, so we can say what we want to say. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't necessarily mean it's true because we say what we want to say, or, you know, we sometimes could be assertive when we're saying what we're saying. You can tell an assertive lie. You can tell a confident lie. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying the tools we use to say who's an influencer or not are kind of off to me. You know, a person could be an influencer with 100 followers. You know, 100 people, that's a lot of people for one person to motivate to do a particular thing. You know what I'm saying? I think we just let those numbers overstimulate our thought pattern and cause us to just kind of be gassed up in a way. You know? Like everybody has to be masters. You know what I'm saying? At what they're doing before they get in front of the camera. You know, we've kind of made it hard on ourselves. But yeah, that's kind of what I think as far as the measurement of influence and how we're using, you know, that term, and we may not even be using that term correctly.
You mentioned adults being influencers, but I believe that there are a lot of children influencers out there. You could look at the kid who did the toy reviews. I can't remember his name. You remember?
No, I know who you're talking about.
The kid. Yeah, I don't remember his name, but
yeah,
maybe it'll come up later. But just him, like a lot of kids were on YouTube Kids watching him play with toys, and where it was influenced to like, hey, I want to ask or play with this toy now. So I believe kids are coming up as that influencer as well, to influence your kids to want something or do what they're doing. With that being said, we can go into the content creation of it.
So content creators, I'm going to hold y'all hand, okay? Because I'm coming right out of the gate. I'm going to hold your hand. I need you to hear me out, okay? This doesn't mean I do not like you, and it doesn't mean that I'm a master at this at all, but I do think that there's some things that need to be said. So take a deep breath in Take a deep breath out. Get your business administration side together. Get your paperwork together. Please get your paperwork together. When people are ready to work with you and ready to do different things, and it sounds good online, and you get all these people and high fives, you know what happens? One or two things happen. We either see them continue to do work or work with whoever they say that we're going to link up with or collab with, or all of a sudden you don't hear about it anymore. You can think of a few situations on social media where it looked like, two people were going to collab. Now, people have different reasons, but I know a lot of times behind the scenes, no matter what reason they tell you, a lot of the times that people don't work together is because one side or both sides don't have their business administration side together. They don't have the paperwork together. You don't know who to pay what. All you know is you want to be paid for your talent. And that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But you got to be prepared for opportunities, and not just opportunities that come from your friends. You know what I'm saying? Or come from your church people or your hood or your community or your family. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to branch out. That's another thing. Take another deep breath. You're going to have to branch out. Drill. I can't, bro. You're going to have to branch out. You really, and it's crazy because we could tell for those that are content creators, we could tell, and just if you live past the age of 13, you know what I'm saying? In this day and age, 2025, if you live past the age of 6, you can see on social media how not getting support can affect certain people. The projections, the outcry, the annoyance that you have with your family and your friends because they're not supporting you like you believe you should be supported. That's okay. It's okay. You're not making content just to get paid. And if that's what you're doing, then that's why you're so frustrated. Is you're making content just to get paid. Change your reason.
That is a great segue.
Yeah.
It's a great segue into what I was about to say. And when it comes to this influencer and influence, I think a lot of the times with influencers, it is about the dollar and likes. It's about the dollar and the likes that they get. Because what happens is when these companies see, and that's why I asked this in the beginning, is the one with a lot of followers or ones that move culture. But I believe that with these companies, they look at your followers, right? They don't, and they also want to see that if you have 100K, whatever, how many they deem as an influencer, then they're going to be like, hey, we're going to pay you this amount to advertise this product, even though this product will be horrible. But because of that dollar, you're going to create that content that is not true to what you believe in just for that dollar, and it goes back to the lifestyle and things like that. I don't know if you ever heard of this, man, but there is this this group of influencers called the Bop House.
The what?
You heard of that? The Bop House.
The Bop House.
The Bop House.
That sound weird. I haven't heard of that.
It's
nothing against y'all. I just never heard of it.
It's a group of women. They influencers. They stream. I guess in a bop. They call it the Bop House. And I'm not the smartest man in the world, but when I hear bop, I'm
right.
And it doesn't help that it's for OnlyFans. And what they say they don't influence, but I think that they say they don't want to influence the youth. The female, the younger females, but I think that when you got this thing that you're called the Bop House and you content create and you call yourself an influencer, of course the young girls are gonna and what they're doing, they're going on there like, oh, I got an OnlyFans, oh, how much you made this week, or I made $1 million, and that to me will influence like, a young female to be like, yeah, I want to make that much money too, so I want to do something like the Bop House and hop on OnlyFans and do whatever, you know what I'm saying? So that's the negative side you can say about this whole content creation with these influencers. Not all content is advantageous to bettering yourself. You know what I'm saying? Of course, if it's about the dollar, and that's all it's about, the dollar. I know people need, money. They say money make the world go round and things like that. But if your influence is pretty much you using your body, pretty much, that's what they're using, to make this money, and the people that's paying for it, of course, they're probably just as bad.
Right.
I feel like it's the bad side of the influence to me.
You can't take the people's money and then dance in front of them and say, I'm sorry at the same time. You literally taking the people's money. Now, I got it. Some people go do it, and if that's what you're doing, you know what I'm saying, and you're a sucker, then you just, I ain't got nothing else for it. You know what I'm saying? But
they say it ain't tricking if you got it.
Bruh. It's sad though, because it's like y'all out there doing this stuff, like Bob House and stuff like that, and you're saying I don't want to influence the young girls, knowing exactly what you're doing is influencing the young girls. So it's not really about the confession, it's about what's in your heart. And because guess what? Before there was a Bob House, there was a group of young girls that wanted to do Bob House. A group of young girls was influenced by something that motivated them to do Bop House. You know what I'm saying? And all the motivations may not be bad. You know what I'm saying? And you may not have bad intentions or ill will doing what you're doing. I'm sure, you know what I'm saying? Y'all are not, bad people or whatever. No judgment my way. You know what I'm saying? But I will say that you can't be in an area or a level of influence like you have and not consider that everything you're doing, especially in this big technological age, is influencing somebody. It's either influencing somebody to not want to watch, or to watch further, or to imitate you. That's the three bigs of this, technological age. People are watching to either adore, to grade, or to compete, or all three. So you can't get away from that. People want to get away from that so bad, though. Let me just do what I want to do. Just express myself how I want to express myself. Say what I want to say. Feel how I want to feel. And then I'll cover it all and not suffer from any of the backlash of it by putting your in front of truth. Like, y'all chill. If that's how you feel, stand on it. But you got to stand on it with the weight, too. You know what I'm saying? And that goes for anything, Dral. Being a Christian, you got to stand on certain things, and it comes with not being able to do certain stuff, or people, calling you out your name, or saying certain things, or people that just don't believe and they're annoyed with even the sight of the cross or something like that. I can't make that go away. You know what I'm saying? I can't make people stop, doing that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? That God would judge me for that. You know what I'm saying? If I looked at people that way, but it doesn't make me not want to be a Christian. Because I take the weight of all of it, the goods and the bads. I guess that's all I'm saying, bro. Is people like in that environment with Bob House or whatever, you got to take the good with the bad. This is what you want to do, cool. You're making money, but you're also affecting people. And some of those people are young girls.
Yes. Great assessment.
Yes, sir.
And great input on that. Appreciate that. There is a good side of influence and other influencers out there. Like, I can speak on the influencers that offer financial advice. I think there's a thing that schools do not teach, unfortunately, grade school, that do not teach a lot of, and that is financial literacy. They can teach you the X, Y, and Z's, but I don't think a lot of people use that in their real life. So when you get those influencers that hop on the internet and just talk about the finances and self-betterment, I think that those are pretty cool. There was this, I'll call him an influencer. The hip hop preacher, great influencer, is always about self-betterment. I heard about him years ago, and I started listening to him because for a minute I was self-conscious about really public speaking. I think everybody get a little bit nervous with that public speaking. They tell you go to Toastmasters and things like that. Shout out Toastmasters. You are you familiar with Toastmasters?
Oh yeah.
Shout out Toastmasters.
Absolutely.
So but
Great
I
program.
use E the hip hop preacher as my motivation. I hype me up to go and do the public speaking and things like that, and I've gotten a lot better.
That's dope.
Doing it. So there are good influencers out there that teach financial literacy, self betterment, and things like that that some people need. So, you know, when it comes to that influencer versus the influenced, what are you influencing that would make you a good influencer? You know, you got a lot of influencers out there that like to do what's real big right now is relationship. What I want everybody to understand, when you're listening to these influencers and these content creators, please understand that not one shoe fits all. Not one shoe fits all in
Thank you.
your relationship, their relationship, all of that. You know what I'm saying? So you could take you know what they're saying, listen to it, but understand that that may not fit your needs, and listening to a lot of these influencers will make you think that, especially the relationship ones. Oh goodness, it's like way too many of those. That's why here at Real Day Nation, we touch on everything. We're not just on no relationship and things like that. No, we on real life. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that real life comes with building relationships and things like that, but that's not it. That's why we just don't touch on that. We could speak on it, but that's not just what we're about. So, a lot of the times with these gurus, these relationship gurus or influencers, you know, because I don't call them gurus. They just try to influence people in a way. They will make it seem like there is this gender war that we spoke on a few episodes ago. If you haven't watched that episode, please go back, check it out, see what we talking about. You know, but things like that. You know, you got to be careful about which echo chamber you choose to sit in. When it comes to these content creators and these people who try to influence someone else into thinking like they think, you know, so because it could be for monetary reasons. Like we can speak on the panda bears, they call them, right? Those who pander, they do it for the dollar, right? A lot of those times it's for, okay, who's gonna pay me the most money by listening to me? I was listening to this guy. Not really listening to. I was watching an interview of Marseille that said that he made content for men, and with his content for men, because he wants to influence men, he is just talking about what men need to do better. Who you think is going to listen to that? The men are not going to listen to that. You're going to get a few of unsatisfied women, you know what I mean, who will tap into that like and be like, yeah, you right. You right, absolutely. They need to do better.
But that's why they
you know
do
what I'm
stuff,
saying?
bro.
They're horrible. The same thing with the flip side to that. But yes,
Do you influence yourself? Do you know how to generate a good day out of a bad day? The answer may be no, and it doesn't mean you're not an influencer, but I can tell you that I buy a whole lot of groceries from the grocery store versus somebody just selling them out of their car. I'm just saying, and I think you would too. So just check your intentions when you are influencing people. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, Dral, like in the spirit world, people will say something, you know, from a Christian worldview is what I'm talking about. What they'll say, you know, God told me to tell you. That can be true sometimes because I'm definitely a Christian and I know people hear from God. But sometimes it's not God telling you for everybody else. It's God telling you because that was for you. A lot of times it's for you. So,
I got another question.
Hey, what's up?
So, would you consider this a good influence or a bad influence? You can answer this in the comments as well. Someone showing or making some content of them giving away stuff.
Oh, that's good.
To the homeless.
That's really
Is
good.
Is that a good influence or a bad influence?
I would say it can be good. I personally don't do that because if you give it somebody something, I think to put somebody else's need in your highlight reel is crazy behavior. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a highlight of you doing something. And I got it. People don't have bad intentions or what have you. But if I'm trying to help somebody on the street, to put them in my highlight reel, bro, at their worst is like that's crazy. That's crazy to me, man. So I don't prefer it, but I struggle with calling it bad content because I know, the world we live in this is just another channel to watch people doing stuff, social media, so I think it's a case by case basis with who's ever doing it. But I think a good rule of thumb is just to go ahead and help people out if you were going to help them out anyway, cameras or not. You know me off camera. If you're not around me when I'm doing it, you're probably not going to hear about me doing it. And I know I'm different than a lot of other people. But there's some people that think like me, but we're all different. So I got it. But ultimately, if I had to choose one, because I've been dancing and talking around choosing one, if I had to absolutely choose one, I'm going to say bad content.
I can't believe that it's genuine content if you do a photo op of you handing it
right
with the camera.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, bro.
I can't believe
that turned my stomach.
Yeah.
Cause I'm like, they at their worst, bro. Like, I'll say the most I would do is maybe say that I'm getting ready to go do something, like in my car, maybe, if I just had to make content about that. But you're not about to see me blessing nobody unless you see me in 3D. I'm not gonna do it, bro. Cause I can't do it. They, hungry and want to shower, and they all been outside all day, and I'm coming with the camera. Look, God bless him. God did it. Tell him God did it. Bro, they're going to be hungry again later on today. Are you coming back? You got to be careful with dealing with people, man. I started off in evangelism, so I look at it a little differently. Yeah, I didn't start out with music,
let me tell you
bro.
something, man. As far as like the things that I did, I like my stuff to just be between me and that person or the people. There was a time where I used to go to homeless shelters and feed the homeless with the people out there, just volunteering to do that. None of that I don't have any pictures of this, no videos of it, nothing. It's just something that I enjoy doing. So that was my, I guess, in-person influence. It wasn't nothing I went to post about or make a video or a picture or anything like that. Not saying that's a bad thing, because like I said, it could be a mixture of both. If it's genuine, you want to influence somebody, like, hey, y'all get out there and help the people, I'm with that all day, every day. But if it's just something, I just did that for the video, I did that for the picture, when them lenses off, that's not me. So that's that fake lifestyle. It goes with it. The workout video that we did, check that out if you haven't already. There are fake influences with that as well that try to influence someone to, oh, you could get this body if you do this workout, and not telling you that, some of that surgery, you know what I'm saying? They're not completely honest, So and you got those people who are watching these videos that feel like, oh, I must not be working hard enough because my body is not looking like that body. Genetics play a part too, so keep that in mind. So things like that, those fake lifestyles that people are presenting when they content create, and you're probably looking in your place thinking you should be in a better place, and things like that. Just be wary of, some of these influencers are faking this lifestyle that they're presenting to you. Work on that self.
That's it.
That's why they call it self-esteem, self-preservation, things like that.
Self-love.
Yeah.
Even the Bible, when the popular scripture, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. The first two words is I can.
Yes.
Me. The strength comes from
influencer.
Christ. The will comes from me, man.
Not the content creator.
You.
None of that. You.
That's it. So, yeah, man. If you go be a content creator, you know what I'm saying? There's a whole bunch of things you can do. But create content that's authentically from you. Yes. It's a bunch of people in the world doing the same thing. But if you're doing the same thing, the thing that stands out about you is fill in the blank. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that is about you, that gives you that edge, not over somebody. Get out of that mindset of competition and be in competition with the best version of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Chase that. You versus you kind of energy, you know what I'm saying? And you'll get wherever you got to go. Your gift will literally make room for you.
The people that we have mentioned during this episode, as far as like the hip hop preacher, the bop house, and so forth, we're not speaking on these people to uplift or even put down. We're gonna speak on what we see and how the people who do this influencing
Right.
influence the people and how it can affect those people. So this is not no put up or put down to anybody.
Yeah, not at all.
So my thing is really for the person that's listening to this. It's not I don't really care if they ever hear this video, but as far as like the content creators that we spoke about, but the people that will be watching this video, I just want you to understand that like we mentioned earlier, is how you influence you. You know what I'm saying? Don't let anybody else negatively impact you by looking at how they influence and be like, they said I should be doing this and I'm not there yet. You know, that self-esteem, that self-respect, that I can, you know, that's what we at Real Day Nation want you to really focus on.
Yeah.
And not let any influencer have you thinking any other way, you know.
That's it. Yes, sir.
No hive minds. No hive minds at all. All right. So as you already know, on Real Day, we have field days. And on Real Week, we let the real speak. And the real has spoken.